On this episode of Gadget, Samsung's Galaxy S2. This episode of Gadget was brought to you by Adobe Systems, Acer, the Jesuit Conference, and this guy. I'm Father Robert from Gadget at thetechstop.net, the place where it's always time to get your geek on. This week we're taking a look at an Android phone that pretty much does it all. Media center, communication center, Wi-Fi, WiDi, pretty much all you want to do. It's the Samsung Galaxy S2. The Galaxy S2 is Samsung's flagship Android-powered smartphone. There are various versions of the Galaxy S2, each one slightly customized for its carrier, but all share the same basic designs and specs. The phone is 5.1 inches by 2.7 inches by 0.4 inches thick and 4.8 ounces. For those who are keeping score, the S2 has a screen that is taller and wider than that of the iPhone 4S, while being the same thickness and 1/10 of an ounce lighter. The first thing you'll notice about the phone is its all-black face that is dominated by an absolutely huge screen. It sports a 4.52-inch 480 by 800 Super AMOLED Plus screen that is protected by a sheet of Gorilla Glass. The screen is vibrant, big, bright, well-saturated, and quite possibly the most beautiful screen I've ever seen on a smartphone. Spec-wise, the Galaxy packs it all. The default S2 is equipped with the 1.2 GHz Samsung Exynos processor, system on a chip, but the T-Mobile variant sports a 1.5 GHz dual-core Qualcomm Snapdragon S3. The processor is supported by 1 GB of memory and 16 GB of storage, which can be expanded via a port on the back of the phone that accepts up to 32 GB microSD flash cards. The S2 has all the appropriate bells and whistles: Bluetooth, 802.11a, B, G, and Wi-Fi, GPS, digital compass, 3-axis gyroscope, accelerometer, and NFC or near-field communications capabilities that will allow you to use features like Google's new payment service. There's a single micro USB port at the bottom of the phone that is MHL compatible, meaning that you can use an adapter to convert it into an HDMI port. The Galaxy S2 has a 2-megapixel camera on the front and an 8-megapixel camera on the back. Quality is good, even in low light, and there is virtually no shutter lag. The camera is ready to shoot within a second of starting the application, and when you press the button, the camera takes the picture immediately. On the video side, the S2 takes beautiful 1080p video at 30 frames per second. The images are clear, the movement is smooth, and the audio is quite good for onboard sound. The phone has dual microphones, located on the top face and bottom of the unit, which Samsung uses to provide a noise cancellation feature while on a call. The dual mics are complemented by a single mono speaker at the bottom of the S2. Battery-wise, the S2 is a long-lived beast. Samsung includes a removable 1850 mAh battery that lasted for 8 hours 4 minutes while streaming HD content over the Wi-Fi connection. In real-world terms, that means that the S2 will give you a solid day of high usage, which translates into more than 4 hours of talk time and near constant internet usage. However, in our average user tests, consisting of 1.5 hours of talk a day while surfing for 5 minutes out of the hour, the S2 gave us almost 3 days of usage before needing to be plugged in. The browser experience is excellent. Adobe may have killed Flash development for mobile devices, but the Galaxy S2 has quite possibly the best Flash implementation that I've seen on the market. Video is clear, audio is clean, and everything runs smoothly. The S2 uses Samsung's TouchWiz launcher on top of Android 2.3 Gingerbread, which gives you an incredibly smooth UI experience. There is no discernible lag, and it has the best multitasking I've seen in a smartphone to date. I was able to run more than a dozen applications simultaneously without the phone bogging down or becoming unresponsive. The GPS on the S2 is of note because it doesn't suffer from the GPS location problem that plagues many Android devices. By using an assisted GPS feature, the S2 can pinpoint your location with ease, usually in seconds. Call quality is excellent, far better than my experience of the iPhone 4S, and at the top of all Android phones that we've had in the lab. The noise cancellation noticeably reduced background noise while on the call, and the speakerphone was loud enough to combat road noise without distorting. The voice features of the Android have been impressive for more than a year, and the Galaxy S2 improves that experience. Most applications are voice-enabled, and the Galaxy's superior processing power and microphone gives it an edge in accuracy. The UI itself is the best implementation of Android that I've seen on either a phone or a tablet. It's easy to organize the menus to your liking, and the settings menu gives you access to the minutiae for which Android is famous. Furthermore, with Samsung's TouchWiz UI on top of Android, you can make using the phone as easy or as advanced as you like, depending on your level of geekiness. As far as media is concerned, the S2 will play back just about every common format. We played files in WMV, AVI, and even MPEG-4 DivX. Combined with the USB functionality of the S2, you can easily load up your Galaxy with all the media you need for keeping yourself entertained on the go. In all, the S2 is the Android phone to beat, even outspecking the upcoming Samsung Nexus. The ease of use, long battery life, ultra-fast processor, responsive UI, vast assortment of features, and its stylish design might be just the thing for your next phone purchase. Hopefully it's pretty obvious that I really like this phone. And there's a lot to like. It's fast. It's responsive. It's got a beautiful large screen. It's got a lot of expandability in memory and in HDMI out. It's one of these phones that can be used in either a very advanced mode for those who want to geek out, or set into sort of the simple, dumb smartphone mode for the people who don't really care about the technology. They just want a phone that sounds good and is easy to use. It has all of that, and it has it in spades. What sets this phone apart for me are some of the more advanced features. I love the fact that it has 802.11 ABGN, A and N in the 5 GHz range. What I mean by that is if you try to use a modern device in a 2.4 GHz congested area, that's the Wi-Fi that most of us use, you'll quickly find that it looks something like this. The spectrum is just completely clouded. There's not a whole lot of room. You're going to be getting knocked off the network all the time, and that's because there's just too many devices in a very small amount of space. This device can actually use the 5 GHz spectrum, which means it opens up a whole new area for your phone to roam. So if you work in an office building or in a congested downtown area, in a conference center, this would be the device to have over, say, another smartphone that only has the 2.4 GHz BGN. Beyond that, I love the fact that I can control exactly how my phone communicates. A lot of people have noticed that as they've moved to the smartphone, they've used less and less of their talk time and more of their data. That's just what smartphones were created for. Well, this takes it a step further by saying, I can shuttle all your voice traffic over your data line, and I can do it in such a way that you get asked each and every time if you want to use the Wi-Fi, if you want to use the 4G, or if you actually want to use the voice network. That's just cool. The last bit has to be the advanced NFC features. It's something I've been looking for a while, and I know it's not enabled yet because we don't have Ice Cream Sandwich, but I'm dying to try out Google's payment service, and it's nice to know that my phone can grow with me. Beyond that, this is just a really good example of how Android has matured. Some people will ask, well, is this better than the iPhone 4S? And I'd have to say, no, it's not better. But the iPhone 4S isn't better than the Galaxy S2. You see, what we have are two phones that are approaching the same customer base from two different sides, and they do it very, very well. If you're tied into the ecosystem, then by all means go with the 4S. It's a great phone. But if you're not, and you want a phone that's a bit more open, perhaps a bit more open to growth, a bit geekier, then this beats the iPhone in spades. It's a wonderful thing for us to have that choice, and it just gets me excited. Now, if you want to see what we've done with the Galaxy S2 and exactly what we've thought about it during this evaluation process, you need to drop by our website at www.thetechstop.net. You'll be able to see pictures of where we've taken the Samsung Galaxy X2. You'll be able to see what we've been doing with the 1080p video capture, and you'll be able to see our full write-up. Or you can write us an email message at gadget@thetechstop.net. While you're at it, why don't you go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the button up top. You'd help us out quite a bit. I'm Father Robert. This is the Samsung Galaxy S2. And remember, there's no Uber Geek without you.